If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. It has been all Florida Panthers here in this second period. A 3-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are overwhelming favorites now to win this game 7 in Toronto. Meanwhile, we are in the bottom of the 6th inning in the Bronx. Yankees and Mets are tied at 2. Your live total is at 7.5. Let's head out to New York. Joining us now on the Progressive guest line from ESPN New York, he is Ty Butler, and Ty's going to join us to talk a little Yankees-Mets, and we'll get into the Knicks-Pacers Eastern Conference Finals, which is set to begin shortly. Ty, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Bet Sunday. Let's start with the baseball in progress right now. What have you seen so far in this game? What have you seen from Max Fried that you like, or maybe something that you don't like? How do you see the rest of this game playing out here as we're in the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2?
Well, I've been obviously impressed with Max Fried. Man, I'll be honest. As great as I thought this signing was for the Yankees, I could not have imagined it would be this good. He is right now, you could make a case the best pitcher in baseball. He's been that incredible. Tonight, so here's what shocks me. Juan Soto is now 1 for 9 in this series. And I thought, like, this would be the weekend to unlock him. Because he had been, to his standards, struggling, and the Mets fans have, wondered when is the right time to be concerned. Is it too early because we're in May? I thought Sunday Night Baseball, light shine the brightest against Max Fried. Like, this dude would come out and deliver, and it just hasn't been the case. He looked awful in that second at-bat where the curveball got him. He struck out in his third at-bat. So that has really shocked me, and I'm wondering, did we underestimate how much pressure would be on this dude because of that contract and because of what he did this past offseason? I understand he's played in the World Series. I get he delivered in a contract year with the Yankees. But maybe, just maybe, man, going from the Yankees to the Mets and having to live up to that deal is putting some pressure on him that he hasn't been able to unlock his fullest potential just yet.
Well, he did make an incredible catch in the outfield a couple of innings ago.
He did.
But how about this,
Yep.
Ty? You talk about, like, from both perspectives here. One, for Max Fried, imagine if the Yankees didn't sign Max Fried with the injury to Garrett Cole, where would they be without Max Fried? They've won every single game this guy has taken the mound for them this year. Right? He's 6-0 personally, but they've won every game. And so if they didn't sign him, where would they be? And then on the Mets side, with the struggles for Juan Soto, could you imagine if they did not re-sign Pete Alonso? Because Alonso's having an MVP start to his season right now, and it's kind of made the Soto struggles not magnified as much. But if the Mets didn't have Pete Alonso, what would be the story this year? Everyone would be talking about the failures of Juan Soto.
It's so fascinating you bring that up, because one thing that annoyed me this past offseason was the coping for Yankee fans when they're like, man, maybe, just maybe, we avoided a disaster by not signing Juan Soto. And I'm like, y'all, we just watched this dude hit them to the – it's not a coincidence that they had gone 15 years without a World Series appearance. He comes and then they immediately go to the World Series, and he had the biggest hit in that championship series. And, by the way, he finished third in league MVP voting. So he was spectacular. But you're right, man. Like, Max Fried, they haven't lost a start. He's been on the mound, and they're only 7 games over 500. What saved them is that they're playing in one of the worst divisions in baseball in the American League East. We thought it was going to be a lot better. But he has saved them with the Garrett Cole injury. And just imagine, how fierce that 1-2 punch would be if Cole hadn't gotten hurt. But you're right in that regard. And I think in the short term, you can say, yeah, it benefited them to have Fried. But I still think long term, I'd love to have that combo of Judge and Soto, given Soto's only 26. and then Judge, in theory, like when he gets older, can pass the torch. But for the Mets, you're so right. And how about this, man? Did it really come down to that one at-bat against Devin Williams in the wild card series? Like, that probably is what extended the period of them being able to re-sign him. Mm-hmm. And it also didn't hurt that he didn't have much of a market. But you're so right. If not for Pete Alonso doing what he has done, because the Met offense hasn't been what we thought it would be. It's been their rotation that's been the best in baseball. Juan Soto will be getting a lot more heat if not for Pete Alonso.
We head to the top of the seventh inning, still tied at 2, as Jason Dominguez put a scare into the Mets, flying out to the warning track there in right field. But tied at 2, going to the top of the 7th there in the Bronx. We're talking to Ty Butler from ESPN New York, joining us on the Progressive Guest Line. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. On Wednesday, the Knicks and Pacers will begin their Eastern Conference Finals, where the Knicks are a small favorite, minus 145 in this series. For Game 1, the Knicks are a 4-point favorite. What's your overall assessment of this series, Ty, and how do you think the Knicks match up with the Indiana Pacers?
I'm so excited for this series. I think a lot of Knicks fans are taking the Pacers lightly, and they just harken back to, well, we would have beaten them last year had we not gotten hurt, and we still took them to 7 games. It's a bit of a different Pacers team. Their defense has improved. And we know they get up and down the floor, so I'm excited for the series. I'm going to go Knicks in 7 just because I have too much respect for what they've accomplished so far in beating, and not just beating Boston, like just demolishing them in that Game 6. But I do have it going 7, which means that I also think the Pacers are going to have a shot to win it late. But 4-point favorites, that kind of shocked me. I don't know. What's your take on it? I thought the line would be a little bit higher than 4 points for the Knicks.
I think that the game. I think you have to upgrade the Pacers off of what they did to the Cavaliers. I mean, the Cavs were a 64-win team. Like, the regular season has to mean something. I know we joke about at times the regular season in the NBA is impossibly long, and the playoffs are the second season, so the regular season is just like an extended, an 82-game preseason. But it has to mean something. And the Cavs were the best team in the Eastern Conference and one of the best teams in the NBA the entire season. And the way the Pacers handled them in that series, and yeah, you could talk about the injuries all you want, but the Pacers looked really impressive. I think if they didn't look the way that they looked in some of those wins against Cleveland, and they still got through that series, and the Knicks did what they did, the Knicks would be more heavily favored. But I think the market has significantly upgraded the Indiana Pacers. And maybe, to your point, Ty, maybe a little bit too much. Maybe they've upgraded the Pacers too much.
Yeah, and maybe also, too, like the Knicks have been like flirting with danger. I mean, they were down 20 in 4 of the first 5 games. They were also down in that Pistons series where they needed a 21-0 run to beat them in the first game of that fourth quarter. They lost Game 5 at home to the Pistons. So the Knicks haven't really separated themselves, which is why it was such an aberration that Game 6 where they blew the doors off the Celtics. But I was just the line at 4 really shocked me. I thought it would be higher. Here's the thing, man. The Indiana Pacers are better than people give them credit for because of what you mentioned. The Cavs were dealing with a lot of injuries, but to just completely annihilate them that way, and the fact that they also beat the Bucks, I get Dame Lillard towards Achilles, their resume suggests that they are well-deserving of being in the conference finals. I just think that the Knicks, what it comes down to is they have the best player in this series, and Jalen Brunson will be able to will them to a victory. You know what the problem, though, is for me, Scott? My brain has been hacked because we joke, and a lot of people's criticism of the NBA is that it's chalk, right? Like, we know who's going to go to the finals. Man, we've seen the 1 and 2 seeds get upset in the Eastern Conference. We saw the 2 seed and the 3 seeds get upset in the Western Conference. So we're sitting here with Wolves, Thunder we expected to be here, but the Timberwolves as the 6th seed, not so much. And then the Knicks and the Pacers, like, no one would have predicted this would be the field. So my brain has kind of been hacked by all these upsets. I'm picking the Knicks, but who the hell really knows, to be honest?
It's fair, and I think what we have to do a lot is, as New Yorkers, as Knicks fans, is kind of take our Knicks goggles off here and just look at it from a national perspective. And yeah, there is a lot of bias maybe against the New York market and against a team like the Knicks. And for people around the country, they might just be saying, oh, the Knicks backed in here because Jason Tatum got hurt and the Celtics missed 45 threes in game one to blow a 20-point lead. The Knicks backed in. The Pacers earned it, but the Knicks backed in. So that's the mentality for the rest of the country, thinking that the Pacers are going to, maybe deserve a little bit more respect than the Knicks do in this series.
I don't think the Knicks backed in at all.
I agree.
I think that, yes, there was an opportunity because the Celtics left the door open, but it takes a great team with mental fortitude and with excellent performance from their best player to be able to get them through that door. And when you watch, like, it culminated in a Game 6 throttling, like, that was not a sign of a team that backed their way into it. And we also have to remember they were the number 3 seed. They won 50-plus games, and they also have 2 All-NBA guys. Like, this is not by accident. So I'm looking forward to it. And could you imagine? So 7th Avenue, we saw what that looked like on Friday night. If the Knicks get to the damn NBA Finals, like, are we going to be able to get these dudes off of 7th Avenue for a month, man? They're going to be out there partying. It's going to be crazy.
I was in New York this past weekend. I had to unfortunately fly in for a service, a memorial service. So I was only in for like a day or so. But Friday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to head to the Garden. And then I've been seeing the crowds outside the Garden, and I said, all right, well, I'm not getting into the building. There's no way I'm going to the Garden to be involved in that crowd. I just went to a local bar and watched the game with other Knicks fans, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to get there. That crowd has just been insane. But you know what, Ty? They haven't been to the finals since the 99 season, right, against the Spurs. And, this is the biggest series, the biggest games in the Garden in years. And the hype is real. The hype is real, my friend. I can't wait to watch it. Thanks so much, Ty. Appreciate it. Enjoy the series. We'll catch up soon, all right?
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
There he is. Tariq Butler, host on ESPN New York, joins us here on Live Bet Sunday. We'll get you caught up with what's going on the ice and in Sunday Night Baseball next here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. It is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, as the Yankees get out of a jam here in the top of the 7th inning. So we are still tied at 2, going to the bottom of the 7th, where it'll be Peraza and then the top of the lineup for the Yankees in Goldschmidt, Grisham, and Judge. So 2-2, Yankees and Mets tied here, going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your live total right now on this game is 6.5, minus 120 to the over. You got 4 runs already. If this stays tied at 2-2 going to the extra innings, I got to believe that you're going to get at least 1 run from the Mets in the top of the 10th. And then if the Yankees come back to win it or at least tie it, you're hitting this over. You're hitting this over 6.5. I think the play right now, I think the live bet right now is on the over 6.5. Yes, unless you think this game is ending 3-2, and yeah, I understand it could be 4-2. Unless you think this game is ending 3-2 or 4-2, with the Yankees scoring here in the bottom of the 7th or bottom of the 8th, and that's it, then I do think the over 6.5 is a play right now. Because I think that you're getting to the bullpens now. Jonathan Loaisiga is already in the game for the Yankees. You're getting into the bullpen now for the Mets. So the Yankees have opportunities to score here. This is a bet that I would make. I would go over 6.5 right now in this game. And as I mentioned, still tied at 2. You can be tied at 2 going into extra innings. And I get it. We're going to have an adjusted total at that point. It's not going to be 6.5. It'll probably be 2, 3. Yeah. I think it probably stays at 6.5. It can't be 5.5. That's the thing. Because at 5.5, if you go to extra innings, both teams are favored to score a run. You have a ghost runner at second base, a bunt over to third, a sacrifice fly, a ground out, whatever scores that run. And I know it doesn't exactly work out that way, but at this point, how could this total get lower? Unless like the Yankees take the lead before you get to I guess if it's 2-2 going into the bottom of the ninth, that's when the total gets lower, because then it'll be like, all right, well, the Yankees can walk off and win 3-2 or 4-2. But if it goes to extra innings, don't you think the total's got to tick up at 2-2? 2-2 becomes 3-3 and the over's already hit. Or 2-2 becomes 3-2, then becomes a 4-3 win and the over hits. Or it becomes a 3-2 final. I mean, hey, I'm going to go in on the over 6.5, though. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to take some of the Aaron Judge walk winnings, and I'm going to go with the over 6.5 on the live number right now. Yankees, as I mentioned, do have Peraza, and then the top of the lineup coming up against the Mets bullpen. So opportunities here for the Yankees to score, and certainly opportunities for the Mets to score against the Yankee bullpen. I mean, imagine if Devin Williams comes into this game, you can't exactly be excited if you are a Yankee fan for Devin Williams. Let's take a look at some next at bat props here. So Juan Soto's looked terrible in this game, as that's, we talked about it with Ty Butler. And Lindor made the final out of the top of the seventh. So Juan Soto leads off in the top of the eighth inning. Juan Soto to walk is plus 700. Does he leading off the inning in a tie game or in a game where you're trailing? Does Juan Soto, does he get extra patient here at the plate? He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Leading off the inning, though, does he get patient? That's the question. And I'm actually going to look at something this year. Let's look at Juan Soto's splits. And let's see if this year, leading off an inning, I want to see what he does leading off an inning. So this is because I'm thinking I might be onto something here. Juan Soto leading off an inning has happened in 27 games. 32 plate appearances, Juan Soto has led off an inning. He has walked 8 times to lead off an inning. Now let's just do the math here. So let's do the math. If we have Juan Soto 8 walks out of the, what I say, how many bats? So 32 plate appearances, because we have to do the plate appearances, not the at bats here. So we're talking about Juan Soto walking every 4 plate appearances. In the entire season, Juan Soto this year has had, 37 walks in 202 plate appearances. So in 202 plate appearances, Juan Soto actually has a higher walk rate. So 5.4, but that's taking out, man, if we take out the 8, let's do this now. Let's do Juan Soto not batting in the leadoff spot in an inning. So I mentioned he was 32 plate appearances and the 8 walks. So that would be only 29 walks, right? Out of 170 plate appearances? That comes out to a walk rate still higher, still about 5.8, higher walk rate. All right, so maybe not a great bet in terms of the numbers, like what he does leading off an inning, but I do think the game situation might kind of come into play here. And I don't know if it's going to be Loaizaga pitching for the Yankees here in the 8th inning or if they bring somebody else in, but you would think that they might be a little bit careful with Juan Soto to lead off the inning. At least that's my thoughts. I think I'm going to take a flyer here. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go Juan Soto to walk to lead off the top of the 8th inning. Let's do it. You guys want to do it with me? Juan Soto, next plate appearance, he's going to lead off the top of the 8th inning. It is a 2-2 game. I got to believe that, yes, the guy is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and you want to attack him, but that he's also one swing away from breaking this 2-2 tie. And so to lead off an inning, from Soto's perspective, he's probably going to be a little patient, especially against a reliever that he is seeing now in this game for the first time. He might go up there taking a pitch. And if you are the reliever that's pitching to Juan Soto, now you don't want to put him on for Pete Alonso, of course, but you don't want to all of a sudden be down 3-2 because you gave Juan Soto a pitch to hit over the middle of the plate and he took you deep to right field. So let's take a flyer on it. Why not? Plus 600 was the same odds as that Aaron Judge. I like it. Leading off an inning, next plate appearance, we're going Juan Soto, walk/hit by pitch. Boy, wouldn't it be funny if he just gets hit by the pitch in the first pitch? just an inside ball just runs in on him, runs in on the hands, and he gets hit by the pitch. Plus 600 right now. Meanwhile, for Aaron Judge, who is about to get up, I don't know if we'll see if he gets up this inning. Right now, Trent Grisham is up. If Grisham gets on, it's Brozoban. Hunter Brozoban is pitching for the Mets, and he's a righty, so they're not going to walk Aaron Judge, especially with a runner on base here to pitch to Cody Bellinger. What do you think Judge does here with Grisham, if Grisham can get on base? Aaron Judge, walk is plus 500. Home run is plus 950. My goodness. That is tremendous odds. I'm not going to touch that. The only bet I'm going to do here is that Juan Soto to lead off the next inning. But let's see. Did Grisham walk? Looks like it's a 3-1 count to Grisham, and he did walk. So Trent Grisham's on first, and here's the moment, folks. As the Mets have a mound visit, Aaron Judge is up. This our over 6.5 is also depending on this at bat right now too. Aaron Judge goes yard here. It's a 4-2 game. We'll just need one run to cash this thing. So let's see what he does here against Brozoban. I doubt they're going to walk him. That's why I didn't place the walk. But you got 2 outs here, and Brozoban will face Aaron Judge in a tie game. 2-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, with a runner on first base in Trent Grisham after a walk. We are into the second intermission in Toronto. It is all Panthers, 3-0 over the Maple Leafs. Your total is at 4.5 right now. 4.5, and it is minus 160 to the over. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved, no usage fees and no minimums, and you can earn cashback rewards, plus 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code LIVE. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. We'll see if there's a third period bet to be made here in Toronto coming up next. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Always on Twitter at Scott's On Air. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
What an interesting situation we have going on in the Bronx right now. So, I talked about wanting to bet Aaron Judge to walk again, but I figured they're not going to walk him with, it's like there's 2 outs, there's a runner on first. You're not going to put first and second with Bellinger up. Like, you have the righty-righty matchup. Just go after Judge. And Hunter Brozoban does walk Aaron Judge on 4 straight pitches. Then, with 2 outs, first and second, Cody Bellinger hits a swinging bunt that Brozoban runs and fields and then stumbles and can't get the out at first, but in the process, he kind of twists his ankle and collides with Pete Alonso. Now, both players are all right, but I tried to bet Anthony Volpe to walk in the next at-bat at plus 675, and I couldn't get it because I didn't get it in time. Like, it moves so fast. It's so hard to do this. But I figured Brozoban falling down after running to first to try and cover first was not going to be comfortable in the at-bat. The first 3 pitches to Volpe were not even close to a strike. He just threw a strike, and Volpe just fouled it off now. So we got a 3-2 count with the bases loaded, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, and this at-bat here goes a long way to helping us with not just our full game total that we played before the game even started, but our live total of 6.5. We can cash this live total right now. If Volpe gets a hit, here 3-2, and did he foul it off again? I think he did. That was ball 4. He shouldn't have swung, but foul ball. We'll do it again here as Volpe, a little bit of pain here as he fouls it off of himself. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We did put in the bet on Juan Soto to walk in the first at bat here of the top of the 8th inning. Soto is scheduled to lead off for the Mets in the top of the 8th, and if it stays tied, I like the bet because I think Soto is going to look to see a pitch, and Volpe strikes out on what would be ball 4. I mean, talk about a guy that just not, it's a bad at bat. It's a bad at bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the guy's struggling. First 3 pitches were wild. The 3-0 pitch was right down the middle of the plate. I get it. You're not going to give the guy the green light there. And then a foul ball, and then swings at ball 4 and fouls it off of himself, and then swings at ball 4 again and misses a low pitch. And so he strikes out to end the threat. And so we stay tied at 2 here going to the top of the 8th inning. And let's see what the live market is right now, as your live total is still 6.5. Like I said, I don't think it's going to get off that 6.5 number unless somebody scores here and it's a 3-2 game, let's say. Because if this stays 2-2 and it goes to extra innings, how could you go off of a 6.5 total? Because both teams start with that ghost runner on second base. It could very easily, 2-2 becomes 3-2 if that's all that they get, or 3-2 becomes 4-2, and then the other team scores 1 run and it's a 4-3 final, or it's a tie game. Like, there's so many ways to score runs. I don't see how the total gets lower than 6.5 if nobody scores. But we do have a live bet. You can still get it in right now on Juan Soto to walk to lead off this top of the 8th inning. Again, the bet that we have placed, Juan Soto to walk. And right now, up on DraftKings, oh, wow, my goodness, they have it at plus 290. Man, we placed it at, what, plus 600 up on Caesars? But they have it at plus 290 now up on DK. But we like Juan Soto to walk here. He is 0 for 3 in this game. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Now, it is a tie game. It is the top of the 8th inning. You have Devin Williams in the game right now. The struggling Devin Williams. If you're Juan Soto, you got to take a pitch, dude. You got to take a pitch. You have to. You got to just make this guy come to you. Make him throw you pitches. And if you're Devin Williams, you lost your closing job. Your team, as much as like, all right, it's the 8th inning, here's your 8th inning role, you're not really trusted. And what's the last thing you want to do here if you're Devin Williams? First off, you're still shook from facing the Mets. And I know that he pitched what he pitched in the 6-2 win, right? But again, that was a 6-2 game. There really wasn't a high leverage moment for him there. And he got into the game earlier. And he struck out Pete Alonso, struck out Vientos, and struck out Nimmo. First pitch is a ball, not even close. This is great. But if you're Devin Williams, you're still shook from facing Pete Alonso and giving up that home run. And so, yeah, in a 6-1 game in the 8th inning 2 days ago, you were okay pitching and you were fine. In a 2-2 game, you want to give up a solo home run right now to Juan Soto and lose this game for your team? Absolutely not. Second pitch, I think, was that a strike or no? Can't see. I think. All right, Juan Soto, it has a nice smirk with the umpire here. So, to me, it looked like a ball. I guess to Juan Soto, it looked like a ball, but it was called a strike. So, a 1-1 count here. And Soto grounds out. So that goes our bet. Hey, we took a shot at plus 600 and we missed. What can we say here? What we really needed that second pitch to be called a ball. Because at 2-0, Soto probably takes that third pitch because it was the same spot. It was looked like it was either a two-seamer or a changeup because it did have some movement. Started off inside, coming back to the plate. So it could have been a sinker, actually. But it did have movement. I don't think Soto swings at that if it's a 2-0 count. I think he's sitting dead red fastball there. And then again, if you're Devin Williams and Austin Wells and the pitcher-catcher relationship, you're probably not calling that pitch if it's a 2-0 count anyway. So the whole at-bat changes. But these live at-bat things are pretty fun. Pete Alonso just gave the ball a ride right to Bellinger in left field. So you got 2 outs, 2 quick outs here in the top of the 8th inning, and your total is now down to 5.5. So it is now down to 5.5, because I guess the theory is like, hey, if the Yankees just score 1 run here in the bottom of the 8th, it's a 3-2 game, and it's over, right? Luke Weaver comes in and pitches the 9th. But if it stays 2-2, I honestly, that might be our only chance to cash this over, is if it stays at 2-2. Or if a team has a big inning, like we almost had last inning with the Yankees loading the bases and then not being able to come through with the big hit as Volpe swung at ball 4 twice in the at-bat that would have walked in a run. But, hey, good outing for Devin Williams here. Gets Soto to ground out, gets Pete Alonso to fly out, and now pitching to Mark Vientos. See if Williams can get through a clean 8th inning and send this game to the bottom of the 8th, where I highly doubt Brozoban will still be in for the Mets. So we'll see who the Mets bring in out of their bullpen. But still tied at 2. Your money line bet right now is Yankees are minus 188 favorites. And I guess that's, listen, they were favorite before the game, much lower than that. But now it's a tie game. All they need is 1 run. They do have the hammer, so bottom of the 8th or bottom of the 9th. So you're sitting here and thinking, yeah, the Yankees should be heavily favored in this spot. Going back to the game in Toronto, 3-0 Panthers lead as the third period is set to begin. Your live total is at 4.5. Didn't want to play anything live here because this has been a game that has been dominated by the Florida Panthers. And there's no value on any live plays here. The only thing that I wanted to do here is just sweat out our bet, which is we need Toronto to score a goal. If Toronto scores a goal, we are still alive for the pregame parlay of plus 2.5, under 6.5. But at 3-0, it's not, 3-0 could become a 4-0 game with the empty netter if it stays like this. Or if Florida winds up scoring another goal here in this third period. Florida has absolutely dominated this entire game. I'm going to refresh the stats here. And let's see. We have, through 2 periods, 75 attempts for Florida to 33 for the Leafs, 49 that got through to just 20, 25 shots on goal to just 12, 25 scoring chances to just 16, and the high danger scoring chances, which were once completely lopsided with the Maple Leafs having a 7-2 edge in that first period. Well, the 6-0 edge in the second period for the Panthers makes them now have an 8-7 edge for the game. Expected goals, yeah, Toronto should have scored. There's no doubt about that. Toronto should have scored 1.72 goals in this game. Bobrovsky's been great, but because they haven't converted on their high danger chances. But Florida's doing what they did. Florida should have scored just about 3 goals in this game, and Florida's got 3 goals in this game. Speaking of Bobrovsky, as we take a look inside the box score because of our saves bet, not looking good because there's not a lot of shots on goal. There's only been 12 shots on goal for the Maple Leafs. Now, if they pick up the pace here in this third period, which they're going to have to, I need 10 shots on goal, or I need 11 shots on goal in this period from the Maple Leafs to get this Bobrovsky save prop. But only 12 shots on goal in a Game 7. You're down 3-0. My goodness. Terrible night in Toronto. You want to know where the real money is going? Well, unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings Sportsbook, giving you insight into where the sharp action is landing. Circa is known for taking big bets from pro bettors, while DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. It means you're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that move the lines. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 for your first month at vsin.com/subscribe. I'm Scott Seidenberg. We continue here. Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Little bit of excitement going on in Toronto as the Maple Leafs have scored to make it a 3-1 game. However, 50 seconds later, not even 45 seconds later, Luusterainen scores off of a tip-in which gives Florida now a 4-1 lead over the Maple Leafs. It's like Toronto takes one step forward and two steps back. My goodness. They came out to start this third period and had so much energy. They looked great. And they scored that first goal, and boom, it's a 3-1 game. And you're thinking, oh, this ain't over yet. This game ain't over yet. 45 seconds later, like less than a minute later, you allow just like I don't want to call it a soft goal. It was a nice tip in, but it was like a shot from distance that gets tipped in by a guy in front of the net that just goes right past Joseph Wall. And it's a 4-1 game. It's just, you don't win game sevens playing that way. And I guess that's why they're not going to win this game 7. And we're going to have the Florida Panthers back in the Eastern Conference Finals. And now I'm starting to look, and you think, are we headed towards a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup? Are we getting Florida-Edmonton once again? I hope not. I got the Dallas Stars to win the Cup, so I'm hoping that that's not the case. But it's starting to look a little bit more likely that that's going to be the case. This is now going to be, the third straight year for the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Final. And this will be a rematch of 2 years ago. So last year was the Rangers, right? Last year, Panthers-Rangers. 2 years ago, it was Panthers-Hurricanes. And that'll be the rematch. It'll be Panthers-Hurricanes once again. And this will be the Oilers-Stars as a rematch of last year. So, and how about that? This will be the third consecutive year for the third straight year for the Panthers to be in the Eastern Conference Final. Third straight year for the Dallas Stars to be in the Western Conference Final. That's pretty interesting. And it's a rematch of last year with Edmonton and Dallas, and it's a rematch of 2 years ago with Florida and Carolina. And how about that? Very impressive stuff here. Dallas, if you actually go back to the pre-COVID year, like the last time that we had the Western Conference, because remember, in that COVID year in the bubble, there was no East-West. Like it was like the Canada, it was weird. The Canadiens got to the Cup final. Like, what a weird year. But Dallas has been in now 4 of the last 5 Western Conference finals. They beat the Knights. They lost to the Knights. And then they lost to the Oilers. And now you got a rematch with the Oilers here this year. And for Florida, it was beating the Rangers last year, beating the Hurricanes the year before that, and before that, they had not been in it in a long time. So, and for Florida, I mean, the state of Florida, right? It goes Tampa, Florida, hockey capital of the world, down in South Florida. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. 2-2 game, bottom of the 8th inning. We got Austin Wells up for the Yankees as there is a man on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm not sure, I didn't see what happened here. Oh, Jason Dominguez walked, and then DJ LeMahieu struck out, and now Austin Wells is up. 2-2, bottom of the 8th inning, and now the training staff is coming out to the mound to take a look at Mets pitcher Ryan Stanek. So if he's okay, he'll continue. If not, the Mets will make a pitching change. But Austin Wells is up, and it is a 1-2 count on Austin Wells. Looks like Stanek will stay in the game. I don't know. He might have landed awkwardly. Something happened that the training staff ran out to the mound for some reason. But after Austin Wells, it'll be, I guess, Ben Rice pinched hit for Peraza before, and then Vivas came into the game. So I wonder if Vivas will be in or if there's going to be another pinch hitter, and then the Yankees go back around to the top of the lineup. So if at the worst case scenario, if the Yankees get out of this and these next 2 batters, they will start, and that is that's a base hit for Austin Wells. That might be extra. That's going to be a double. They're going to hold Dominguez at third. So the Yankees have second and third with 1 out. Let's blow this game open, right? We took this live over at 6.5. Let's blow this game wide open right now. Live total right now is at 5.5, minus 165 to the over. A base hit scores 2 runs right now. A base hit from Vivas scores 2 runs, and if Vivas gets out, then you got Paul Goldschmidt, Trent Grisham, and Aaron Judge. So the Yankees' opportunities to score runs is right now here in this bottom of the 8th inning. And like I said, a base hit scores 2 runs here and gets it to a total of 6 with Vivas up now. And even if it could be a sac fly, you score a run here and it'll be a 3-2 game, and you got the top of the lineup coming up with maybe a runner on third or a runner on second. So an opportunity here for the Yankees to blow this game open as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning, tracking the action here. Meanwhile, still a 4-1 game between Toronto and Florida, as your live total in that game is at 6.5. Now let's see, swing and a miss from Vivas, so he's quickly down 0-2 to Ryan Stanek. But your live total is at 6.5. Now let's think about this. 13:22 left in the third period. Certainly Toronto can score, and it could be a 4-2 game. At 4-1 in an elimination game, yeah, you're still going to pull the goalie. But if there's one empty net goal scored, 5-1, that's how it's going to finish. So you need another goal here from Toronto if you want to hit this over 6.5. Because at 5-1, you're not going to pull the goalie again. You're going to concede. At 4-1, yeah, you're down 3. The goalie's out. The goalie's out with 5 minutes left. So we're only, 7-8 minutes away from pulling the goaltender? I think you're going to get that 6th goal. It's 4-1 right now. If the Panthers are going to have the empty net, your hope is, by betting a 6.5, you are hoping that Toronto scores. Now, do they score with the extra attacker, or do they score before then? That's what you have to ask yourself if you're thinking about placing the bet here. The Maple Leafs at plus 3.5 is even money. The Panthers at minus 3.5 is minus 130. Now, that's a better bet for me than the over 6.5. It's minus 130 for minus 3.5. It's minus 105 for over 6.5. You're talking 15 cents. That's it. Or 25 cents. 25 cents is worth it here, because to cover 3.5, you only need that one empty netter, and the game ends 5-1. But at the paying the minus 105 to 6.5, you need 2 goals. I think you're only going to get 1 if Toronto doesn't score here. So I think you're better off taking the Florida minus 130 at minus 3.5 on a live bet, as opposed to betting the over 6.5. Unless you truly believe that Toronto is going to score. If you believe Toronto is going to score, then play the over. There's no way I would take the plus 3.5, though. No way. As Vivas has fouled off a bunch of pitches and has worked the count full. So Yankees trying to break through here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Want to tell you guys about First Bet. If you're ready to get in on the action, First Bet's got you covered. You can sign up now to access exclusive promotions and bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day right from your phone or computer. Visit firstbet.com. That's the number 1, stbet.com, and use promo code VSIN200 to score a 20% rebate on all of your wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today at firstbet.com. Vivas keeping his bat alive here as he keeps fouling off 3-2 pitches, and another foul ball from Vivas. Obviously doing a great job for Paul Goldschmidt batting up behind him. Should Goldie face Ryan Stanek, he has now seen a lot of pitches, and pretty much everything that Stanek could throw in the course of an at-bat, he has seen watching from the on-deck circle. Vivas start off 0-2, work his way to a 3-2 count, and foul off pitch after pitch to stay alive here. Yankees have second and third with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Vivas grounds out to Pete. Oh, he throws it away! Wow! Vivas grounds the ball to Pete Alonso at first base. Alonso throws the ball away. Yankees score the go-ahead run, 3-2. They have first and third now with 1 up, 1 out, top of the lineup up in Paul Goldschmidt, and then it'll be Grisham and Aaron Judge. We'll talk NBA playoffs. Coming up next, our very own Jonathan Von Tobel will join me, Scott Seidenberg, right here on Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.